Tournament golf is not like real golf. Your weaknesses are about to be exposed, but you're also about to have the best time of your life. The only adrenaline rush I can compare tournament golf to is jumping out of an airplane or riding a roller coaster. My name is Michael Leonard. I'm the creator of Wicked Smart Golf, a +2 handicap, and competed in over 200 tournament days of golf since 2017. Some of those events have included the US Amateur Qualifier, US Open Qualifier, and even Q School in 2019. Let's get into these tips to help you play better when it matters most. Number one is to ensure we're getting our practice rounds in. Practice rounds are one of the most important things in tournament golf, as it'll allow you to strategize and create a game plan so that way you're not guessing on the golf course. With practice rounds, you don't want to worry about score. Instead, think about these three things. First, you want to make sure to master the green speed. Green speed is one of the most important things to playing well in tournaments, and typically the greens are going to be faster and there are going to be some tough pins, so you really want to make sure your speed is dialed in, because there's nothing worse than hitting it well all day and struggling on the green. So in your practice rounds, make sure you're really working on green speed. Specifically, work on your 30-foot range, because that's going to be the average proximity that you have when you do hit the green in regulation. The second thing you want to focus on in practice rounds is your tee box strategy. I like to go out there and hit a lot of drivers on pretty much all par 4s and par 5s in practice rounds. This gives me a good idea of where my driver will end up, and I can always dial it back in tournaments. You also want to check your carry distances. Are you able to carry this bunker? Are you able to get over that ravine? Do you have a desert you need to carry? Get those carry distances so that way you know what you're going to hit off the tee in the event. Number three is how the golf ball reacts on the green. A lot of times tournaments are going to speed up the greens and firm up the greens. So you want to notate in your practice rounds, are they hitting and stopping? Are they hitting and rolling? Are they hitting and spinning back? Notate all of these factors so that way we can get into step two. Tip number two is to use a yardage book or a journal to create your tee box strategy. You want to go out there knowing exactly what you plan to hit on each hole. Sure, you might have some things change because of wind or weather, but for the most part, you want to have a tee box strategy so that way you're not guessing and you're going out there with a game plan. I like to use a yardage book and then pair that up with some extra research on Google Earth. This is a strategy I learned from Scott Fawcett, the creator of Decade Golf. I recently had him on my podcast, Wicked Smart Golf, where we talked about the importance of shot dispersion. When you go on Google Earth, you can actually learn a lot about the course that you can't see when you're playing. Since you have that bird's eye view, you're able to actually see the course differently, plus you can even see how wide fairways are, how wide greens are, and really just get a better strategy. So make sure we have a full game plan before we head out to the course. Number three is to avoid technical swing changes before the event. A lot of golfers really want to prepare and make sure they're dialed in, but this is not the time to work on your swing. You want to leave training aids in your trunk and focus on playing golf, not playing your golf swing. Too many times golfers are out there tinkering the days leading up to an event, and that's going to lead to a lot of mechanical swing thoughts instead of just letting go and playing golf. Heading into an event, what I like to focus on is my alignment. I work on my driver and my short game. Those are really the three biggest things that are going to help me play consistent. So don't overthink it and get into your head with technical swing thoughts. Before we get into the next tip, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of these epic videos to help you play better without swing changes. Golf tournament tip number four is to get there early, but not too early. So many golfers try and over prepare and think they need to get there hours and hours in advance. I'm guilty of this. Before I tried to qualify for my first PGA Tour event at the Waste Management Qualifier, I got there nearly 2.5 hours early. I thought that was going to be what I needed to get fully dialed in and prepared for the situation. But after about 9 holes, I was exhausted because I got there so early, I hit so many golf balls, and mentally I was drained too. So instead, find what works for you. Some golfers like 45 minutes, some 60, and some 75, but you really don't need that much more time than that because you might over prepare and hit too many golf balls and actually get some fatigue later on in the round. Tip five is to play your game. So many golfers, when they get out there, they're paired with new players, they're paired with better players, and it's real easy to get into a spectator sport versus forgetting to play your game. Remember, you can't change your swing, you can't change your game right there, so you have to focus on you and only you. Don't think to yourself, wow, I wish I had that guy's drive, or wow, I wish I could putt like this guy. Focus on your game. Specifically, swing your swing. Everybody swings a golf club differently, but if you're out there worried and trying to swing like someone else or swing as hard as someone else, it's usually going to lead to very poor ball striking. So again, swing your swing and play your game. Golf tournament tip number six is to anticipate adrenaline. Adrenaline is real in tournaments. That's one of the reasons I continue to sign up for tournaments. I love that feeling you get. It feels like you're alive out there, but adrenaline can get the best of you and hurt your score. So what we need to do to adjust is two things. First, with your full swing, you have to anticipate the golf ball going farther than normal. You really feel your heartbeat racing and you're super excited and you're in between clubs, you want to club down because it's going to go farther. A great example of this is a tournament that I had where I was trying to qualify and it was an 8 for 3, meaning 8 players were playing for 3 spots. In the playoff, I was 4 holes in and I had the perfect 7-iron distance. I hit it absolutely perfect. The only problem is it sailed the green by 10 yards and I ended up making bogey and getting eliminated. As much as I was bummed, I actually learned a vital lesson that when you're under pressure and when you're really excited, you need to use less club because typically you're going to hit it farther than normal. But the exact opposite opposite is true with putting. With putting, when adrenaline kicks in, you tend to leave putt short. And if you leave putt short, obviously they have 0% chance of going in. So on the greens, when you feel the adrenaline, make sure to give it a little extra stroke so that way you get the ball to the hole. Our final golf tournament tip is what happens after the round. We need to recap our round. Golf tournaments are a great place to learn about yourself and your golf game. Make sure you use a golf app to track your statistics like fairways, greens, up and down, scrambles, and then specifically take some notes. I like to actually just pull up a note in my phone and write down what I was feeling, how I felt going into the round, and maybe any swing thoughts that might have came up. This is a great time to learn about your game. So don't waste this opportunity so that way you can make the most of your practice sessions the following weeks. Make sure to notate a few things that you really struggle with. Maybe it was a hybrid off the tee, maybe it was your chipping, maybe it was your putting, and spend 80% of your practice time the following week on those weaknesses so they can become your strengths. Golf tournaments are literally the best part of golf in my opinion, and I think everyone should sign up. Even if you're shooting in the hundreds or shooting in the sevens, everyone can learn a lot from golf tournaments. Plus, you're gonna meet great people and get yourself in a new environment and really get out of your comfort zone. This is a great way to speed up the learning curve of golf and drop your handicap quick. If you want even more tips to play better under pressure and without changing your swing, make sure to buy my book, Wicked Smart Golf. It's available on Amazon now, and it gives 111 ways to play better without changing your swing. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I hope you have an epic day on the links.